Hello, I am Professor Robert Boyd of Mississippi State University, and I'm very pleased to contribute my article, The Black Metropolis Revisited, to the Urban Studies Journal. This article stems from my recent research on how, in the United States, the urban black communities of the early 20th century were transformed by the Great Migration of blacks from the South between 1915 and 1930. The starting point for this research is the argument by historian James Neal Gregory that during this migration, the residents of black communities in the urban north established vital social, economic, and political institutions, and also cultural institutions that added to the social life of these communities. Following Gregory, I call this argument the thesis of the black metropolis. My impression was that this thesis, while compelling, was based mainly on the anecdotal reports of a few case studies, particularly studies of New York and Chicago, and I believed that it needed to be investigated with a broader approach, in particular by conducting a multi-city regional comparison that included the urban centers of both the North and the South. My study then had two objectives. First, to analyze the participation of blacks in several occupational categories: the professions, entrepreneurship, public service, and the arts, entertainment, and mass media. The second objective was to compare the black communities of the major urban centers of the North to those of the major urban centers of the South. Utilizing census data, I discovered that the black metropolis thesis was only partly supported. For many of the occupations, black participation was not significantly different in the North and South. My main finding was that the northern communities offered to blacks greater opportunities to participate in occupations related to public service and to the arts, entertainment, and mass media. Therefore, I concluded that during the early 20th century, the advantages of northern urban centers to blacks were mainly political and cultural rather than economic. This conclusion is worthy of note because the literature has emphasized the economic benefits to blacks of northern urban centers. I hope that my research may provide a foundation for further comparative and historical studies of urban black communities. These studies could add to knowledge by utilizing data sets that are more comprehensive and statistical methods that are more sophisticated than those that I have employed. This research should consider a broad range of outcomes of the Great Migration, including political and cultural outcomes, in addition to the economic outcomes that traditionally have been considered. Above all, I believe the greatest contributions could be realized through studies that take a multidisciplinary approach, incorporating the perspectives of history and sociology, as well as economics and geography. The Urban Studies Journal, I believe, exemplifies this multidisciplinary approach.